Students, yesterday we were talking about Paul's relationship with Mariam and Clara and how he was unable to establish satisfactory relationship with any woman due to the strong mother pull. So he continued to see Clara even after Baxter Davis's resentment, and he was also busy with his drawing and painting. Paul had entered pictures in local exhibits and had won many prizes. Mrs. Morrill always encouraged him and he continued to paint. He also wanted to go abroad, but he could not leave his mother. He began to see Miriam again, and when she yielded herself to him, his passion was ruthless and savage. But their relationship was still unsatisfactory, and due to this, he turned again to Clara. Miriam knew about his love affair with Clara, but she felt that Paul would tire of his mistress and soon come back to her. But Paul stayed with Clara because he found in her an outlet for his desires, for his passion. His life was a great conflict. He was unable to choose between Miriam and Clara, and besides that, the strong emotional pull of her mother. Meanwhile, Paul was earning enough money to give his mother the things her husband had failed to provide. Mr. Morrill stayed on with his wife and son, but he was no longer accepted as a father or a husband or a breadwinner in the family. Then suddenly one day it was revealed that Mrs. Morrill had cancer and was beyond any help except that of morphine and then death. For some months, Mrs. Morrill declined rapidly. Her health was not good at all, and Paul was tortured to see her in pain. Paul and his sister Annie marveled at her resistance to death, and they wished that it would come to end her suffering, that she should die so that her suffering could end. Paul dreaded such a catastrophe or such a problem in his life, although he knew it must come eventually. He turned to Clara for comfort, but she failed to make him forget his misery. Then, visiting his mother at the hospital, Paul found Baxter Davis recovering from an attack of typhoid fever. For a long time, Paul had sensed that Clara wanted to return to Davis, and now, out of pity for Davis, and because he was also emotionally upset due to his mother's health condition, he brought about a reconciliation between the husband and wife. Sorry. When Mrs. Morrill's suffering had mounted to a torturing degree, Annie and Paul decided that anything would be better than to let her live in agony. And one night, Paul gave her an overdose of morphine, and Mrs. Morrill died the next day. Now, Paul was left alone and he was lost. He felt that his own life had ended with the death of his mother. Clara, to whom he had turned before, was now back with her husband, and after his mother's death, he parted with his father also because uh, he could not bear to stay in the house with him without his mother. For a while, Paul wandered helplessly, trying to find some purpose in his life. He was unable to take any decision regarding his life. Then he thought of Miriam, to whom he had once belonged. He returned to her, but with the renewed association, he realized more than ever before that she was not what he wanted. Then again, he thought of going abroad. Now, next thought that came to his mind, that he wanted to join his mother in death. Then, leaving Miriam for the last time, he felt trapped and lost in his own indecision. But he also felt that he was free from Miriam after many years of passion and regret. His mother's death was too great a sorrow for him to cast off immediately. But finally, after a lengthy inner struggle, he was able to see that she would always be with him and that he did not need to die to join her. And with this newfound courage, he set out to make his own life anew, and he began his life's journey in a new way. So that's all, student. And the novel ends at a point where there is hope for Paul. Now he's free from Clara, he's free from Mariam, and he's also free from the strong mother pull. His mother will stay with him forever as a good memory, as uh, as a kind of inspiration for him. But he wanted to lead his life now in his own way. Okay, that's all, students. Thank you.